So you're thinking about moving to Dallas, Texas? Well, today I'm gonna get into the good and the bad about living here in Dallas. If this is your first time to this channel and you want to be the first to know what's going on in this city, make sure you hit that subscribe button and tap that notification bell so you can be the first to know about what's going on in the Dallas-Fort Worth housing market. My name is Ashley with the Living in Dallas team. I get calls and texts from people every single day looking to move to Dallas, Texas. Give me a call, send me a text, or write me an email, and I can help you make a smooth transition to Dallas. Okay, so let's get into this video. We're gonna start with the pros. We're gonna be positive at first. Okay, so number one is the weather. So we are in the middle of January. Yesterday was absolutely gorgeous, sunny, 75 degrees. Today it was a little cooler, it was about 60 and it rained. Tonight it's supposed to drop down to 30. So the weather's a little crazy, but for the most part it's very warm. In the winter it actually gets very hot here, like over 100 degrees sometimes. But if you like the heat like me, you can take it. I have no problem coming from the East Coast where it snowed a lot during the winter. I would much rather be in 100 degrees than 30 degrees and snowing. And we're just gonna pretend that storm last February didn't happen. Number two, the affordability. That's a huge factor of what's driving people to Texas in general and Dallas.
The median sales price last month was around $321,000, and as you can see, news articles keep coming out saying prices are only going up. So this is actually a great place to be if you're looking for a home that is going to increase in value.
Okay, number three, business opportunities. So Dallas is in the very center of the country, which makes it amazing for people who are traveling from the East Coast to the West Coast, back and forth. This is a great hub. If you're looking to network, you can meet so many people from around the country here. It's crazy. The job market is great here. There's so many large corporations that are moving here on a regular basis.
Here's a quick screenshot of some of the Fortune 500 companies that are headquartered here in Dallas.
There are new startups coming along, a ton of money pouring in from California. It's centrally located, and also DFW is one of the biggest airports in the country. If you guys didn't know, DFW airport is actually larger than the island of Manhattan. That's just the airport, okay? So everything really is bigger in Texas. All right, number four, this is a big one. No state income taxes. This is a huge factor for people living in states like New York or California where you're paying close to 10% or higher for your state income taxes. It's just insane. So you're gonna save a lot by coming to Texas. However, they will get you on property taxes, and we're gonna talk about that when we go into the cons, okay? So the next positive, because we're keeping it light here, is nature. So Texas is very flat. However, if you're moving to Dallas, there's lots of green everywhere. There's lots of land, parks. So there's Reverchon Park, Clyde Warren Park in the middle of the city. There's a Santa Fe Trail that lines the White Rock Lake, and the Katy Trail, which is a 4.5-mile trail that runs through the city of Dallas, specifically uptown Dallas. This is a great spot for all you runners out there, anyone who likes to go cycling, walking your dog, or just hanging out with friends. There's the Katy Trail Ice House, which is a huge spot that's outdoors and indoors and super popular for people who just want to grab a drink and cool off or get together with friends. It's very dog friendly. And there are also a lot of lakes. So for all you people who love water sports, who love boating, you can always hang out on the lake. The next pro, live music. So there are a ton of venues if you like live music. Deep Ellum in particular, if you're in the city, they have a ton of live music everywhere. It's a huge scene. It actually used to be a big jazz scene there, but there's still a ton of music. If you like country music, you like rock, you like hip hop, you like blues, jazz, literally every kind of music you want, you can find live bands on a regular basis. Okay, next, sports teams. We have the Dallas Mavericks, we have the Dallas Stars, and of course we have the Cowboys. Oh, and the Texas Rangers, if you like baseball. So sports are huge. Dallas has some very intense sports fans, especially Cowboys fans. Like, they don't play. They don't mess around out here. People are very into their Cowboys and their Mavericks. So if you love sporting events, there are so many to choose from. Next, people are generally nicer here. That Southern hospitality, it's real. It is so real. So coming from the DC area, people were very, they just keep to themselves. If you come from the East Coast, you know what I'm talking about. It's very fast paced. It's like hustle, hustle, hustle. People don't really interact with people on the same level that they do out here. It's kind of a slower pace, and people are just friendlier. They say hello when you walk down the street instead of acting like you don't exist. That's something I noticed right away when I came to Texas. All right, next, if you like steak, you like steakhouses, and you like Mexican restaurants, there are plenty of those everywhere. Everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. If you like American food, plenty of that too. So those are pros if you're into that type of food. Okay, so we talked about the good. Now we're gonna get into the bad, the cons. Okay, so number one, the traffic and the horrible drivers. Yeah. So there is just so much construction going on and so many people who are moving here from out of state. I guess they don't know where they're going. And the drivers here, if you live downtown near the city, like it's kind of crazy. Honestly, it's kind of confusing too. When I first moved here, I was like getting lost even with my GPS. It's like, if you're in the suburbs, it's a pretty straight shot to get everywhere. But once you get into the city, there are one-way streets and highways. Some of them don't have shoulders to pull off, and like, it just gets really congested sometimes, and it can be crazy. Number two, everything is very spread out. So Dallas is a huge city. And because of this, it's not the easiest to get around if you don't have a car. It's not like some major cities like New York, LA, Chicago, DC, where you have a train, a subway station, metro, and you can just get around the whole city. No, Dallas is not like that. We honestly don't have the best public transportation. So I highly recommend that you do have a car if you're thinking about moving here, especially if you're gonna live anywhere outside of the downtown area. Number three, toll roads. So if you are living north of the city, you better get a toll tag and be prepared to pay tolls on a daily basis. Because if you are living anywhere outside of Dallas, you're gonna save a lot of time by taking the toll roads. For example,
let's just check out Frisco, which is one of the most popular cities to live in outside of Dallas. So to get to downtown Dallas, you're looking at a 31-minute drive with no traffic if you take the toll. As you can see, you're looking at 40 minutes plus if you don't take the toll. So you can save quite a bit of time. You're just going to have to pay to go on the tollway, but there's generally a lot less traffic there than there would be on the major highways like 75.
Okay, next. So I mentioned the weather was really good and it's warm most of the time. However, a con is that there are some serious thunderstorms here sometimes that can include hail. I've only seen one hailstorm since I've been here about a year, but if you can, try to move into a place that has a garage or covered parking. We are also at the very bottom of tornado alley, so I've heard of a few tornado warnings but haven't seen any actual tornadoes happening anywhere around here. However, it's possible. Next con, the planes can be really loud if you live close to the airport. So I'm not sure about DFW, but I've heard some people who live near Dallas Love Field, which is located closer to the middle of the city, especially if you live in the design district or parts of uptown, the planes can be very loud. So that's just something to consider if you're looking to buy a home directly in Dallas near the airport within a couple miles. Dallas is pretty flat and it is landlocked. So there are some lakes, man-made lakes, but if you're looking for an ocean, you're not gonna find that here. So just keep that in mind. However, there are a lot of trails And there are a lot of nature trails and natural beauty out here. It's very green, which is beautiful. It's one major thing I love about Dallas, and especially in the suburbs outside of Dallas. Okay, the next con is property taxes. So if you are living in the city, you're looking at around 2.5% in property taxes. So for a $400,000 house, this would be $10,000 you're paying. However, there are no state income taxes. So if you're making around $150,000 coming from a place like California, you are actually saving money on property taxes here in Dallas compared to what you would be paying in your state. So it kind of balances out when you don't have to pay any state income taxes. And the last con is that I personally don't think there is enough diversity with the food. I love spicy food. I love Indian. I love Jamaican. I love Thai. I found some really, really, really good Thai food here, which is amazing in Dallas. But for good Indian food, like I've had to go to Plano and Frisco to get some good Indian food. And Jamaican food, I've only found like one good place, but I wish they had more African food like Ghanaian, Ethiopian. Okay, so that was my list of pros and cons. If you guys have any other pros and cons about Dallas, make sure you leave them in the comment box below. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And I will see you in the next video.